Joining us now with reaction to that, let's welcome Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member, Senator Chuck Grassley. Senator, good to be with you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's go ahead and start with some of the comments that we've heard from the president dating back to Thursday night, to that speech that he gave, that political speech, where he's categorizing half of the country, possibly more, as MAGA Republicans. Now he's calling them Trumpies. It's very divisive ahead of the midterms. Some are saying that he's doing this and the Democrats do this to rally the base and that it will be a good strategy for them. Others say all he's doing is rallying the other side.
Well, I think that he's trying to rally his base behind him, and obviously it is emboldening Republicans to show up. But I think the main thing is this president's been very inconsistent since Thursday night. MAGA Republicans, and then the next day he wasn't condemning all Republicans, but he didn't make that clear in his speech. And then yesterday on Monday, he goes right back to the same diatribe that he had. So he ought to be consistent, and the consistency really ought to comes from his inaugural address when he said that he was being inaugurated to be a unifier of our country, and he seems to be dividing the country.
I think you're right. And you bring up a really interesting nuance, and I noticed it myself as well. Thursday night, he's on script, right? Then you're referring to a question that Peter Doocy asked him where he started to walk back his comments. That was off the cuff. Then there was a tweet where we can assume it was probably scripted, and he gets back on message. It seems like there is some division within the administration and who is in charge here, per se, with respect to the messaging. And a lot of people are wondering, you know, if that's part of the problem, that Joe Biden really hasn't been leading his administration since Inauguration Day.
Well, I think when you talk about who's making these decisions, I think there's only one person, and that's Susan Rice, that's running the White House and indirectly running the country.
Got it. I want to switch gears for a moment while I have you, because we all know the phrase, it's the economy, stupid. Obviously, this is an issue facing Americans as we put the summer behind us. The expectation is that there will be more headwinds to come. People have suffered a lot as a result of high gas prices, even high on a relative basis. But now Bank of America saying that there could be recession shock as the Fed is doubling down on the inflation fight. Obviously, inflation has been an issue. And within the last moments of August, you had a president passing another $739 billion bill, pardon me, and also forgiving student loan debt. Many economists say that's not baked into the cake just yet.
Well, let me tell you, I finished my 99 county tour for the 42nd year in a row, and this inflation issue is at the top of it. Now, you mentioned the $739 billion feeding the fires of inflation, supposedly being an inflation reduction bill. It's an inflation enhancing bill. There's two rules of economics. You didn't mention these rules, but you did quote economists. Number one, when you're in a recession, and we are, you don't raise taxes. And number two, when you have 8.5% inflation, you don't spend more money. That's the bill that passed in August. And then another $560 billion that comes from the student debt forgiveness. So everything that's going on here is they want the Fed to get inflation down, but on the other hand, the administration is making the Fed's job harder and harder and harder.
I think you're right, and the expectation is that these rates will have to go much higher from here. Jerome Powell was pretty clear about that when he was in Jackson Hole, and the market took that as a signal. That's why we've seen so much selling. Senator, if I could just ask you to stay with us for a moment, because I want to get to this. The White House declining to comment on emails that appear to show direct coordination between high-ranking administration officials and Facebook employees as part of an alleged effort to censor speech about topics including the COVID-19 pandemic. Edward Lawrence is at the White House with more for us.
Well, Jackie, a lot of attention on social media companies over the immunity that they enjoy from prosecution, over the fact that they can suppress certain posts and not other posts, and how they go through that suppression of them. Now, a lawsuit filed by the attorneys general in Missouri and Louisiana found the collaboration between these companies and this administration, the lawsuit claims, was inappropriate. Now, they found 45 different officials in contact with Twitter and Facebook. Now, Meta, the lawsuit claims the administration handed over talking points to companies over what it labels misinformation and held monthly meetings. Now, publicly, listen to my exchange with this White House press secretary over all of this. Listen.
I don't have anything to share with you on that. I'm not going to comment on that right this time.
Because the attorney generals from Missouri and Louisiana said there's a vast censorship enterprise across a multitude of federal agencies.
Yeah, I'm just not going to comment at this time.
An administration official reached out to me about this story today, saying the president believes in freedom of speech, but also believes it's important for all media platforms, including social media, to represent factual scientific information. They downplayed the interaction between the administration and social media companies, saying it's sort of like when another network gets a story wrong, they'll pick up the phone, call that network, and talk about the inaccuracies. No word on who decides what those inaccuracies are. Jackie?
Edward Lawrence, thank you. Senator, thank you for standing by. I want to get your reaction to that.
Oh, the administration has gotten caught with their pants down. It's pretty darn simple that the government can't violate freedom of speech, First Amendment, but they can go to these platforms and say, will you do this for us? So the platforms are state actors, ought to be sued for violating constitutional rights. They're responsible for this. They shouldn't be playing along with it. They ought to be disseminators of all sorts of information. And the public of the United States is smart enough to sort it all out. And we should not have this censoring, government-sponsored censoring.
Yeah, censorship, a huge issue. We are going to follow this and make sure we stay on top of it. We so appreciate your time tonight, Senator Chuck Grassley. Thank you.